Hello everyone. Today we are going to create the Restful API using Node.js and then we're gonna deploy it in Vercel. As you see, that is the thing. We already deploy it in Vercel, so we are getting that alleged address. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create that same. So now in our Restful API, we have several endpoints. As you see, we have phones, phone cases, accessories, and watch. So all the data is available here. If we click on the phone, as you see, that data related to the phone. Now this phone has an ID, title, price, previous price, description, category, image, and if you click that image, you can see, you can view the image because I deployed that image through that imagepb.co. So you can deploy your images whenever you want. There is a free tier. If you go for the paid version, feel free to go that. Now the crazy thing is that you can also search here through ID. Like if I give a valid ID, it will fetch the single product. Now this thing will be actually working over here because as you see, that actually fetching the data from those particular endpoints which we have been created. That's the accessories data is coming here. Now if I click any of the phone, it will take me to that single phone page. As you see, I'm fetching that through the ID, which actually going to be handy when you are going to implement that. So this all are over the things we're gonna create right now using that Node.js. So let's start to build. And to create that, first we need to initialize a project. So this is the empty folder. Just take any empty folder, then open your terminal or git bash, whatever you prefer. Now I'm not gonna use that npm, I'm gonna use that pnpm. The same thing if you're using the npm or here, the same procedure. I love to use the pnpm because it's getting less storage in my machine. So what I need to do, I need to just put the pnpm in it. Oops, it will be pnpm in it. Okay, so now if you put the ls, as you see, I have a package.json. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna open it in my code editor. So as you see, it's already open inside my code editor. So now let's see what we have actually inside that package.json. So now here I have the test, but I didn't have any script which I need to create. So the first thing what you need to do, you need to write a function. If you're using that npm, it will create by default. So now here I need to write that from where the start point it will be. So it will be index.js. So now I need to create that file because it will be the starting point for this application. So let's say index.js. And by the way, if you have any doubt about the pnpm, you can just go to their documentation and you can just install it properly, because we're gonna create that application first of all, and then we're gonna create this one on which we're gonna just get that product pages on the product. So let's see. Now to implement that, as you see, we have that index.js. Now if we just put the log hello, so let's open our terminal. And now I need to run a command which will be pnpm start. So it will start our application. As you see, hello is already written here at one time. So now we are going to use the Express.js to create our application. So just search Express.js. Okay. So in the Express.js, we'll just go for the installing those things. As you see, we did that. So we need to install that dependencies. So what I'm gonna do, pnpm express. So now it will, as you see, pnpm, I need to write the similar way, the way I'm just writing that npm. So it will be pnpm install, then need to place the flag. So now it will install that Express.js in my application. If you want to see it's installed or not, you can just monitor that package.json. As you see, it's already installed in the dependencies. So now let's go back to my index.js. Now what actually need? Let's create a hello world application. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy this entire thing and then I'm gonna paste it. And the port, because it will run in the server side, I'll just put it at 8000. You can put anywhere you want. So port is running on the port. Let's save it. And the similar word, which will be pnpm start. If you're using npm, just put that npm start. So now as you see, example code is running. So now what if I want to run another log like console.log? Okay, console.log hello. as you see, it's not restarting again because I need to start it every time. So to just go out of that, because whenever we changes in the file, I want it to be changed automatically, and to do that I need to install the nodemon. So it will be npm install. I just need to get that nodemon to install. Okay, so nodemon is installed. So now how we can actually run that one, as you see in the node, we'll just put that nodemon index.js. so now the nodemon will automatically just circulate that, and it will get the idea to how to catch that. So the similar pattern, npm start, and now as you see the port is running on 8000. I'm getting a separate one. If I take in another console, hello world, oops, and as you see it's getting just taking it directly. And if you want to see where it's running, we just can open that localhost 8000. As you see, our application is running here. So now there is one more thing what I really love to do, because the port functionality is better to keep it in the env folder. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna install another dependencies which will be .env. so pnpm install .env, and that one will give me the authority to keep that env file in actual this port functionality, or sometimes you have the logging or other formality to keep in a separate places. So now I'm gonna close that, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just write that code which gonna be require, and that one it will be oops, it will not be the domain, .env. Okay, so require.env, and then I'm gonna close that. I'm gonna call the config from there. Okay, so now I can use that .env, and now I'm gonna just put that port. So to implement that things, what I need to do, I need to create a .env file. Now here I'm gonna write the port. So the port, it will be 8000 for this application. So now the port I can actually access. So of course I'm gonna remove that port, I don't want to use that. So the port, it will be process.env and dot, which is actually we're accessing the port, and if the port is not available, it will just trigger it through 8000. As you see, everything is running fine. So actually not the example app, I'm gonna just put that server is listening, or better to running on port 8000. And if you click here, okay, so now here we can also pass a message if you want to pass, but later on, because we don't want to pass any message, we are going to pass that all over that index.html file to make a very good design. So first of all, let's go and create all over that routes. And to create the routes, what you need to do, you need to create a folder which will be routes, and here we can actually create the routes. But before we are creating the routes, we need another things to install, which is course, because remember we will call that where somewhere in our application from that API we're gonna fetch this entire data using that Next.js fetch method. So it will be giving a browser issue, because we need to initialize the course so that the browser can read the JSON file also. So there will be no issue at all. So to do that, we need to install that course. And after installing the course, also we need to declare that course where we are going to use. So we are going to use it inside our application, so it will be const course, and then it gonna require the course which we are installed already. Okay, so now we are declaring the apps here. So we are going to tell the apps you can use that course. Okay, so now it will not be an issue for the browser related things. So first of all, let's go and create a route. So first route, as we are creating the phone data, I'm gonna give a name of that phone.js. And to create the route, it actually is a very simple and easy. First, we need to get the access the router from Express. So first we need to actually get the Express to initialize. So Express, and it will require our friend express here, and now we're gonna access the router from the express. So it will be express dot, and it will be capital R, and then you need to close that, so the function gonna be run, so that we can actually access. So now we need to return something which we actually can get from there. So now what we can do, we need to run that router dot get, oops, it will be get, and where it will get in the route of phone, and then we're gonna pass two value, which is one it will be the request, one it will be for the response. And now what we're gonna pass, we're gonna rest dot send, what we're gonna send, phone data will go here. Now, after writing the route, you can actually go and fetch one by one, as we are doing the 4 routes. So I will just go with a simple method by which we can actually get all the routes in one line. So to implement that one, first we need to actually access that redirect sync. So it will be const rate, and it will be that directory, oops, it will be capital, the smaller, I think it's small, yeah, red directory, and it's gonna be a sync with the parent directory, and that synchronization will actually start running from FS, the file system, which is actually coming from the Node.js. So you can do it in that way, or you can do whatever method you prefer. So now after that, I'm gonna pass that, oops, it will not be the read, it will be redirect sync. Now here what I'm gonna do is a function, so I'm gonna pass that routes, so it will be inside the routes. And as you know, you can just go and dig a bit of in the like documentation of FS module. So if you are following this application with me, that will be enough. So this routes has a primarily method to access everything inside that routes. So now maybe we're gonna have a separate, like if we click here, maybe we're gonna have that phone case.js. So the similar pattern, whatever we have the phone, we're gonna just copy that and we're gonna paste it here. So it will be phone case. And also we need to do one thing, we need to export the router from here. So it will be export, not the export, it will be modules, I think, yeah, module.exports, and we're gonna pass that router. So the similar pattern also we need to implement for the other file, okay, the phone, okay. So now it can map through that entire file system, so whatever the file is actually present in the routes folder. So now I'm gonna map it. So now how we gonna catch, because whenever we are going to map, we can actually individually catch all over the routes, right? So after the map, I need to pass that, like I will tell the app to use that route, and first it will ensure the home route, and then it gonna just require, oops, it will be a require, and then it gonna access the all the routes. As you see, it's available, so all the routes it will be available, and then I'm gonna just implicitly give, as you see, I can drop down the all over the things. So what I need to do, instead of pushing one, I can push all over the things, like whatever the items is coming. And to implement that, I will just edit. So in that addition, I'm just putting the file, so the file system it will be just catch from there. So let's go back to our localhost, and if we just keep that phone, as you see, phone data will go here. So the phone case, it will remain the same data because we didn't change. If we just change it here, it will also reflect. So the phone case, I'll just put that phone case, okay, hit again. As you see, phone case data will go here. Now instead of that things, we need to push actually those data what is can be the real thing. So first of all, to implement that things, let's go back to our phone case. So now here, okay, phone, here I'm gonna pass a parameter, so it will be a phone data. Now here I'm gonna pass everything inside an array, and that array gonna take all other things as an object, and that object will take an ID, which gonna be the ID we are going to give in. And then after the ID, we're gonna give the title, oops, it will be clone, and you need to pass that string value, so just a iPhone 15, and then we're gonna pass another value, which will be price is the number, so we're gonna just keep that simple way. And also you're gonna pass that previous price, and also it will be a number. Okay, and then we're gonna pass that description, which is actually a string, so we need to get the lorem to do the trick. So what I will do, I will actually go here in this website. You just search in the internet, you can find lots of lorem demo. I'll just copy it, and then I'm gonna just paste that one inside the string. And don't forget to keep inside the string, otherwise it will freak out. Okay, so then we're gonna pass that category, which will be phone category, and then it will be image. Now this image, I'm gonna give a valid link of the image. Remember, I already deployed those image in image pb. So if you want to deploy the image from there, first I'll just copy that, then I'm gonna show you how actually you can deploy your image freely. First, let's go back to our image baby account. You need to sign in over here. Now let's go to the upload option. Now you can upload easily just to put and drag and drop any of the image. You just get the image and then drag and drop, or you can browse from your computer. Okay, that's very simple to go. Feel free to deploy it here, and then you can easily access. Okay, so now what we need to do, as you see, we have the image, and after the image I have that is new, and that is new is actually a boolean, is true or false. So first I will keep that true, and then the brand also it will be a string, and the brand it will be Apple. So now what we need to do, we need to pass that entire array. So like if I actually get the second data, and remember, make that ID as unique because we are going to use that ID as a key prop. So don't forget to make it as a unique ID, otherwise it will not work whenever you are passing it as a key. So now here I'm gonna pass that phone data. So now we can actually access the phone data, and if we just keep phone, as you see, we have two value. So that's the pretty much simple. So you can prefer the text as the way you want, to make it to looks like the way you feel better. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just the similar things, I'm gonna just copy it from my previous apps, and as you see, that's the phone data we are passing. Those the things you can change the value, and don't worry, those all data it will be available in the description. After the production build, I'm gonna give it to you. So let's save it. And if we hit it again, as you see, you're gonna receive that 20 pieces of phone data available for you. So that's the pretty much similar it will be for all other sector. And for the phone case, I will do the same trick. So let's go to our phone case portion, and it will be the phone case, and here I'm gonna just get some phone case image and other details. So again, I'm saying you can change, you can modify the way you want, just to show you that how you can actually do. If you can do one router, you can do as much router as you can. So that will be the phone case data is available. So now there will be another one, which will be our watch. It will be watch.js, and the last one it will be accessories.js. So now in the like as you see, the error is coming because we need to finish that writing those things, otherwise the error it will just go over there. So what you need to do, we need to get first the express. So an express, as you see, we can actually go with that ES module, but just I want to use the default one. So we are actually requiring through the backend instances, so it will be express. And after that we will use the router, which will be actually access from that router from the express. And now here we're gonna just pass that router. What I'm doing, okay, router.get, and that data it will get from that watch route. So now again the similar pattern, a request, a response, and now here I'm gonna pass that rest.send. And as you may actually thinking what actually I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass that parameter as a router parameter. The data is available, which I have been using the dummy data beforehand. So let's just drop it here. And here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass that as watch data. So let's go back to watch. Of course it will not come because we need to finish another one. So let's go to accessories. So what I'm gonna do, how you can actually implement that, you can just copy this two line and that paste it here, and of course you can copy a note here, I think watch. Yes, we need to also export that module.exports, and it will export the router. Also copy that three line here. Okay, so now it will be, I think, accessories. And to amplify that one in a broader way, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get the accessories data. So data pattern is actually the similar pattern I'm using for the first one. I'm again saying that to you, you can modify the data pattern as the way you want. So it will be accessories data. So now here is the thing, we can actually get all the data, right? So the watch data is available, so all the phone data is available. But what if, like over here, if we just go and fetch one single data, we can actually fetch, right? Now here if we try, it cannot fetch, cannot get phone 1001, so it cannot fetch with the valid ID. So what actually we can do to implement that one, and it's very simple to do that. I'm gonna do in one, you can do it in the other one because it's the same procedure. So here I'm gonna add another parameter, and the parameter, it will be for the single product parameter. So now here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a single route. And how I'm gonna implement, first of all, I'm also gonna pass a router from here, router.get, and that get method, it will just go inside our phone. Remember, it will be the similar for all over the products available. So now here I'm gonna pass a request, a response, the similar pattern which we have been done previously. So now we're gonna find an ID. Okay, so the phone ID, we're gonna like parse in it, because the ID can be string or can be passed in with a params or others. So now it will be request dot params dot ID. So that's the ID we're gonna take. You can put the underscore ID, but the params, I'm just gonna go in a different way that you can also use those kind of things. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just find that a single phone. So single phone products. Now remember, we have that phone data array, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna map through it, or I'm gonna find through it. So it will be a phone data dot find. I'm gonna use that find method, and from that find method, I'm taking every single phone like data as an item array, item object, and now I'm gonna pass that item.id. Remember, we put an underscore, and it will be equal to phone ID. So if it's equal to phone ID, only that time it's gonna fetch that single data. Now we're gonna write a condition, so you can use that try catch block also. So let's use that phone ID. So if there is no phone ID, what actually it gonna do? It gonna return a response dot status. Now if there is no data, of course we're gonna give a 404 bad request. So now dot JSON, it will be JSON, and now here we're gonna pass a message. So message, and that will be single, it will be phone data was not found. So that's the message we want to pass, and if there is the data is available, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass a response, and that response, it will be in JSON format, and now I'm gonna pass that single phone. So now as you see, we set up the parameter, we didn't change anything inside the index.js, we just corrected it here. So now if we just hit again, as you see, we can get the data. So now the similar pattern, the same things, if I just go with the phone case, the similar thing, we just need to just get that, and as you see, instead of that phone data, you can just pass that phone case data. That's it. So now if we just go back, phone case, as you see, we are inside the phone case. If we put any ID, of course it cannot get, so you need to get a valid ID. Okay, what's the valid ID we have? Okay, we have 3. It's starting from 3002, so like 3010. Why 3010 is not available? Let's just see. 3010 is available. Okay, just hit refresh. Okay, 3010. Okay, where we are heading. Did we change actually in the phone case? Okay, we you see, we didn't change the route, so it cannot access that one, so it will be a phone case. Okay, not the phone. We need to change the route parameter. Okay, so it's changed. Now I think we can access that data. As you see, the data is available. So now we are already done our things. Now we need to create this entire pages, like the phone face of that application, because whenever anyone is coming, like they're gonna see those things. It's not look so cool, right? So to implement such good things, to make that design pattern, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come in the root directory and I'm gonna create a file which will be index.html. So now here I'm gonna create that. So just put that. It will just create a document docs for you. So that's the HTML file. So now here in the body, okay, inside the body I'm gonna pass a header. That's the plain HTML, so you don't need to worry for anything. So it will be welcome to JSON server. So now what we will do, we're gonna pass that HTML to our index.js file. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close that unnecessary thing, so we only need that index. So now what we need to do, as you see, we are getting this one here. So instead of sending actually that raw JSON file or text, what we're gonna send a file. We're gonna send a file which will be underscore. As you see, the double underscore you need to put. That's the way its backend thing works. So the file name we need to pass, and that file name, actually we will not get the file name, because if you see the send file after underscore, you can actually access all the folder from there, and we're gonna use that directory name, and that directory name from there we're gonna just route it, because it's gonna be inside that root directory, same the way we use that item, and now it will be index.html. Just hit the save, and I believe if we just make that, as you see, no such file or directory is available, so we missed something. Just let's go and keep a little bit of debugging there. As you see, we put index.js is in the root directory, in the root, right? So we need to put that root directory sign here, which is actually we are using for the home sign. So let's try again. As you see, welcome to JSON server. So now we can just customize our HTML thing, and to customize is very easy. If you know how to write that HTML, that will be simple for you. So after the div, after that header, I'm gonna take a div, then I'm gonna take a p text. So inside the p tag, I'm gonna just put that text, and now I'm gonna put an h2 tag, and inside the h2 tag, let's just put that explore categories, and now I'm gonna mention the categories, and that categories inside the unordered list, I'm gonna put an li, and inside that li, so the href, it will be just inside that phone, so it will be the phones or phone or phones or phone cases. So there's some just putting that directory, so I'm gonna put my 4 directories here. So that's the 4 directories, and if we just go here and hit save, as you see, if you click, it will take us to that particular direction. So now just need to add a bit of style so that it will just looks little bit better. And first thing first, as you see, if you're familiar with that HTML thing, you can just comment through that text and other things, it will just catch up with that text. So now inside that header tag, we can actually add all other properties. So after I think inside the header, we can also pass our title. Okay, inside the document, we're gonna pass that JSON server. Let's see if it's changed. Yeah. Now I need to hit again. Yeah, it's changed. So now after the title, we're gonna add style tag. Okay, so now inside the style tag, I'm gonna pass that body, and now here in the body, I'm gonna pass some parameters. So it will be like font family, and that font family, as you see, we actually connected the Poppins font family. So just copy that, and that font family you can just get from the Google. If you have no idea, there is tons of video in my channel where you can learn how to get the font family from the Google. So just put that, and by default also we're gonna pass a font family which will be sans serif. If we keep that, I think you will see a rapid change on the font. As you see, the font family looks better. And also I'm gonna put a background color, and that background color, it will be okay, just put that F0. I think, yeah, little bit whitish. Okay, so now I'm gonna make margin and padding in 0, so it will be in the middle sect. Okay, so the padding, it will be 0. Okay, so now also what I'm gonna do, instead of keeping everything in cramp, I'm gonna like take a class name which we can write in the class. So I'm gonna pass that container value. So now I'm gonna declare that container. Okay, so that container, it will be like just dot container. Now here in the no need the clone, so it will just be simply as the container. So now that container gonna be a max width which gonna be 800 pixel, and then it gonna be margin, and it will be 0 and auto to keep it inside the middle, and the padding I'm gonna give it 20 pixel. And if we save, and every time you save, don't forget to hit the route. As you see, that looks good. So now the same parameter, you need to just amplify all the style. Here is just some easy style just for the header and for the h1 tag and for other complexity. So if we just click here, as you see, now that looks good. If you click on the phone case, you can get the phone case, click on the phone, and also if you click on the parameter of ID, you can get the particular product. So now this other two, feel free to do it for that accountable single routing. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna deploy it in Vercel. And to make it eligible to deploy in Vercel, we need to do several things. First of all, we need to create a file which is called that Vercel.json, where we're gonna keep every single configuration which related to the Vercel. So it will be Vercel.json. Vercel.json. As you see, the Vercel sign is available here, the signatory sign. So now here we're gonna pass an object, the first object, and of course it will be in string parameter, the version. Now there will be so many other version available, so I'm just using that version. And now okay, I think that's gonna be in double quotation. Yes, not the single quotation. Okay, so it will be the build, so it will engage that Vercel engine to run that. So now inside that array, I'm gonna first inside the array I'm gonna pass an object. First it gonna take that source, and that source it gonna implicate with that index.js. That will be the entry point for that deployment. And then the use case, we need to also declare the use case. Now that actually you can modify, but as I'm a fan of it from a long time, I'll just put that now and not. So after that array, we're gonna pass another things which gonna be the routes. Remember, we have that routes folder, so also it will be an array, and then we're gonna pass an object. Again, it will be the source, and inside that source we're gonna capture all the routes. Okay, so inside the first packet we're gonna just give that we're gonna just give that multiply, so it will access all the file from that particular folder. And now okay, just pass the destination first. The first thing first, it gonna start from that, oops, it will be double quotation index.js. So that's pretty much all to just run it through that Vercel. And there is another things you need to change, or not the change, you need to declare that engine. And to declare that engine, let's go inside the main. Then over here we're gonna pass that engines, and remember the it's nowadays is taking more than 18, or it's 18 or more than 18 version. So we need to just declare that node version, and it's gonna be 18. Okay, so that's it. So now what we need to do, we need to connect it through our GitHub. So just put in git init. Okay, So git init is available. So now we need to also do one thing, because as you see, there is the node modules file is available. As you see, there's a very minimal node modules is available. Like whatever the formalities we use is only using that portion. That's the beauty of using api npm. If you're using npm or yarn, doesn't matter. I'm just not using it just to save my storage. That's it, nothing else. So I don't want to also pass that node modules to my GitHub repo. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just take a git ignore file. So git ignore. So now here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tell that ignore that node modules and also ignore that .env file. Don't take this file to my repo. So now let's add that, git add, and also I'm gonna git commit, and I will pass the message which gonna be initial commit. Okay, so now I will connect. First I need to create a repository. Okay, so it will be JSON server yt. Okay, I'll keep it a public so you can access that repo and just you can learn everything you need to learn for that. So I'm gonna connect my remote repo over here. Okay, so now git push. I'm using the master branch, so I'm using the master. If you are using the main, just push from the main, that's it. So let's just refresh that one, and as you see, the data is available here. Now let's go to deploy in Vercel. Of course you need to create an application, then you'll be able to deploy in the Vercel. Now once you having that app the Vercel dashboard, like you have the account already, then just put that add a new project. And if you create your application or you already linked your application through Vercel using GitHub, then it will already automatically pop up here. So as you see, JSON server yt is already available. I'm going to import that one. I will not change anything. I'm just going to keep it as default. And as you see, it's starting the build. And by the way, the front end actually is very taking more time than the backend, so it will actually deploy in a very quick way, as you see, because it's a very lightweight application. As you see, it's already done. So we already deployed that one. Let's go back to our dashboard, and as you see, JSON server yt.vercel.app. So our application is fully running now. As you see, we are having that endpoint, and also our endpoint, everything is working just fine. So I think you are already there if you are staying with me, or if you did the things perfectly, because later on we're gonna create an application using that one. And this will be this application what we're gonna create, where actually you can toggle through those particular data, and we're gonna use that Next.js fetch method to dynamically fetch that particular data. So stay with me and just feel free to finish that and deploy it from the Vercel and get that legit IP address, because only then you can access it anywhere. Now you can add any routes, and very easy, and the link, it will be description, the repo link, so that you can feel free to follow it from end to end and then can create your own API endpoint. We'll see you in the next video.